Let me guess. You love watching movies, right? Like the thrill and passion of werewolves and vampires in the Twilight Saga, or you fancy the boy who lived Harry Potter, or you wonder how was it to be in Middle Earth, just like what you've seen in the um, Lord of the Rings trilogy. Well, movies such as those, as well as songs that you're humming nowadays, from classic to trendy, are all product of world literature. Yes, indeed, world literature can therefore entertain as it educates and educate as it entertains. But what's cool about studying world literature when a lot of things are happening around the world? Hey, what's up, internet people, millennials, and millennials at heart, my fellow netizens? My name is Eric, and I study Masters of Arts in English in Negros Oriental State University. And today, we are listing 5 of the coolest things about studying world literature.
Number 5. World literature is the free travel around the world. Mind that world literature is the totality of all national literatures: Japanese, Chinese, American, Russian, African are among others. Each nation's literature has its own artistic and national flares. World literature allows us to encounter cultures that we would otherwise never experience. World literature could take us wonder by wonder to places we've never been before. It helps us open our eyes to the wide world outside. Then we begin to learn, ask questions, and build intuitions and instincts. We expand our minds. We broaden our horizons. Try going to the 1800 France through Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. You can imagine their architecture and urban design and know the misery of the Parisian underclass. Or take the tales in the Arabian Nights if you want to experience the ways and cultures of North Africa, Arabia, Turkey, Persia, India, and East Asia. Such literary travel can be profoundly life enhancing. Number 4. World literature is a time travel machine. If you think traveling the world is cool enough, wait until you know this. Literature of the Bronze Age, classical, early medieval, early modern, and modern. They all cultivate our imagination to learn from history and delve into faraway lands throughout the ages. Hence, we learn world history, human civilization, and culture, encouraging us to an examined life, a richer life. Go back in ancient 8th century BC civilization through Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey and experience the War of Troy versus Greeks. Or you may find excitement studying Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, so you may have that medieval vibes amongst knights and monsters, or heroes and heroines. The option is limitless. More so, world literature allows us to understand political, cultural, and philosophical movements and ideas in particular cultures at a particular time. Take, for example, the apartheid or racial discrimination in South Africa way back 1948 until the early 90s. If you could just imagine, there's a lot more to discover and learn in history of the world that is beyond the measure of coolness. Number 3. Literature is as cool as a Netflix. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and now there's Netflix. Well, films or movies are also product of world literature. They are similar to novels or short stories in that they tell a story. They include the same genres like romantic, historical, detective, thriller, adventure, horror, science fiction, etc. As a matter of fact, a lot of great movies on Netflix is based on books and literature of the world.
To Kill a Mockingbird is based on the novel on the same name by Harper Lee of USA. Mean Girls, in part based on the nonfiction novel Queen Bees and Wannabes by Rosalind Wiseman, also of the Americas. The Great Gatsby is based on the novel of the same name by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Fault in Our Stars is also based on the novel of the same name by John Green on the contemporary American literature. On the British literature, it includes the films Romeo plus Juliet. It's based on the Shakespeare's play on the same name. Pride and Prejudice is a novel of Jane Austen. Number 2. World literature makes us human. Literature is so powerful. It heals our depressions. It teaches us lessons. For instance, the literature of the Chinese is historical. Their poetry reflects their traditions, beliefs, culture, and teachings and ideals. The masterpiece of Confucius, the Analects of Confucius, which is about how to be a good human being and live a good life, teaches people compassion, love, righteousness, good manners, wisdom and integrity and courage to do the right things in crisis. In Russia, their literature is more usually passionate and tragic, can be dark, but there is a great deal of compassion for human suffering within that darkness, such as the Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Meanwhile, American literature reflects beliefs and traditions that come from the nation's frontier days. Authors often celebrate nature, a sense of boundless space, and man's struggles against the forces of nature. Stephen Crane's The Open Boat, for an instance, centers primarily between humankind and nature, as well as suffering, survival, empathy, and community. And the number 1, just like social medias for the millennials, world literature is a great avenue of self-expression, belongingness, and self-worth. A famous American writer, F. Scott Fitzgerald, once quoted that it is a part of the beauty of all literature. You discover that your belongings are universal longings, that you are not lonely and isolated from anyone. You belong. Going back to studying, especially in studying world literature, can enhance your emotional development, social involvement, cultural awareness, and industrial intelligence. Reading and studying literature is an effective means for you as a younger fellow to discover your own hidden self. When you read, you can let go of the pressures of everyday life. Without peer pressure or the fear of judgment, readers can find their true emotions. You will discover more about your wants and needs, and it helps you as a younger generation learn more about your own priorities in life.